can't hear you right now. Nope. Go to prep.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that outfit.
Hello.
Dude, my bad. Oh yeah, this is beautiful. Some dude made this.
Ooh,
I
baby.
don't really know who it is, but
Oh,
The Two Faces for Radio Zoom Room.
you got taste. What's up, guys? Good to see you.
How are you doing?
good to see you.
Good, man. I'm good. I'm just getting this coffee. I have an interview with Ninja the gamer at
Mhm.
all. I don't know. if you
No
guys know.
shit.
I have an interview with him at 2:30 in the morning my time. So I have the weirdest schedule today. I'm like trying to coffee up like in the mid-afternoon because it's in China. I don't know. Anyway, that's my day. That's what my day is looking like.
How long do
So
we
what'd
have
you
with
do
you
with
right
him?
now?
Yeah, same here, man.
Sorry. How long do we have with you right now?
Oh yeah, we're good. We're good.
We're
We're
good?
good.
Okay.
We're chilling.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah.
What are you doing with Ninja later?
It's I'm a big League of Legends player. I love playing that game, and so I did the world song. So it's a part of the world championship vibe for that, I guess. And yeah, I didn't know he played League. I guess he plays everything. He's like the OG gamer king. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So let's talk a little bit about your life, man. I mean, you got a ton
Sure.
going on right now. You just released an album. You got a kid on the way. I mean,
yeah, man,
like,
it's crazy.
are
And
you
you're
nervous for that at all?
you're engaged, obviously. When's the date? You know when you're getting
Obviously.
married?
Yeah, we're getting married. I actually never talked about this on the podcast yet. We're getting married June 5th down
Ooh.
in St. Petersburg, Florida, just family, kind of keeping it really
Congrats,
small. Then we're
dude.
going to come back to Indy and do like a reception with everyone. So we're
That's
really excited,
amazing.
man. All thanks to you. Seriously.
Oh man, an honor. That's one of the highlights of the musical life. It's so beautiful that you guys chose to do that at the Jingle Jam. It was amazing.
I was telling
It
Tommy
was
the other
amazing.
day. Whenever I'm in my fields, I just watch the video that I recorded myself of the proposal. I'm like, it's a cute video.
Love is beautiful, baby. But sorry, I
Right.
cut off your question because I was making it about
Oh,
you.
no, you're fine. I
I
was just wondering, like, are you super nervous about having a kid, or is it kind of like calming in a sense?
I was so nervous. Seems to be a theme in my life. When Emily first said, when we were starting dating, like 3 months in, she said, I want to marry you, basically. It was over Christmas break, and my heart almost erupted from my chest, and I was so nervous, and I was thinking, wow, this is it. Am I ready for this? And then once it subsided, and then I actually proposed to her. So she like incepted the idea, and then I proposed to her. Once
Yeah.
I did it, I was all in, no nerves. And similarly with the baby, she did the same thing about like a year and a half ago. She said, I'm ready. My body's telling me I'm ready. Let's do this. Let's get a baby in our life. And at that point, it was before COVID and all that stuff. So I was like on the road, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, I want to be around. But then once I got used to the idea and I was very excited about it, then I've been excited ever since. And now she came into the world literally the first week of quarantine. So she knew it was the perfect time. Daddy's not torn. Let's do this. Let's hang out. So I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been able to see her a little bit more now? Like, because is COVID kind of giving you a little bit more freedom to hang around?
Oh yeah. She should be. I get to see her, and I get to sing to her in Emily's belly. She's super pregnant. She's supposed to be born in December, but I think she's gonna be here in the next like 2 or 3 weeks. So
That's really
it's crazy
exciting.
to see. Yeah.
So is there anything that like? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, but I was wondering, like, is there anything that like your parents did with you that you really like want to do with your kid, or like anything they did with you that you definitely don't want to do with your kid, or like what kind of parenting tips did you get just growing up in your family?
They've been great. They just said, make a safe space for them to play and be creative and support them and just let them do their thing. And that's it's the same mentality I'm definitely going to have with her, and whatever she wants to do, whoever she wants to be. I just want her to feel accepted and loved and excited to be that person, and not be afraid to be honest with Emily and I about whatever she's feeling. That's my biggest thing. I want her to be transparent, and I will never judge her, and I'll always love her. So my parents definitely instilled that in me, and yeah, I have no complaints. I had a great childhood, so there's nothing I could say that. My dad definitely has a lot of idea. I appreciate that he loves my music stuff so much. He listens to it on the elliptical every day. He's been listening to Color Vision. He's the best dad. He's so
That's
cool.
awesome.
But he gives a lot of ideas. So I'll try to, like, if she asks for ideas for things, I will give them. But that's the one thing I'll be like, you know what? You let me know if you need me. Otherwise, I'm chilling. But he's always like, yo, you should do this. What about write a song about this?
And you're like,
oh no, I thank you for listening. I love you.
one thing at a time. That's awesome. I was seeing there's a lot of things that like the way I heard somebody do it the other day. They were talking about giving their kid allowance. You know how like you get your kid allowance and having their kid pay rent back to like to like teach them like a certain way to like pretty much how the real world is. And then when they turn 18, they give them all the money back. So every time they pay rent or whatever, all that money they keep and they give it to them back, which I thought was kind of a cool idea. Because then you're
I'll tell you the best thing.
You're giving them all back.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, there's nothing wrong. I'm gonna get that money. We chill.
Yeah, you just keep it, and then when they graduate high school or college or whatever it is, then you now get it like a huge savings fund that you didn't even know about, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so they don't tell them. They don't tell them
No,
they're gonna get all the money back.
they don't
Oh, okay.
tell
That's the crux.
It's a nice surprise.
I thought it was like you're gonna get it all back, so just keep funneling into this fund.
Now, I will say like one thing my dad did when we were growing up is he always told us Chuck E. Cheese was closed on the weekends. And we couldn't go during the week because we had school. So we never went to Chuck E. Cheese. So, I mean, if you're trying to save money, man, that might be the role to go. I don't really know.
Savage. Your dad sounds like a savage. What if you
man,
like, you
that was pretty rough.
If you drive by,
I'd be like,
Chuck E. Cheese
why are they closed? Yeah, I thought they were closed. He's like, oh, they're probably doing construction or private events or something like that.
Goodness.
I'm like, okay, That
makes sense.
How's
the preparation for your baby girl coming? What how far away?
I just built the crib last night with my wonderful
awesome.
mother-in-law, Mama Banks, and Emily, and so it's all getting good. Her room is yellow. Not my choice. Emily wanted to make it yellow, which is cute. So it's great. I'm ecstatic, and she's been listening to all the music. She her favorite song on the album is Acid Dreams, which is fun. She dances every time she hears it on the live show or whatever else. So she's gonna be a spicy little girl. I'm excited to see her vibe.
That's super
what age do you feel like she's going to understand like what you do for a living? I've always wondered like, oh, these celebrities have a kid and they're just like, they grow up normal and they might not know until like they figure out like, oh, dad has to go tour across the world and perform in front of thousands and thousands of people.
Man, I don't know. That's such a good question. All I hope is that like I'm expecting, because all my friends who have kids that are in music are just they say that at a certain point they're just like, oh, dad, stop singing to me, or dad, I don't want to hear your music. So they're like embarrassed. Every kid is embarrassed by the parent at some point. I'll be ready for that. I hope she's not, but yeah, I wanted to just give her a pretty nice cozy life. We're pretty cozy people, so I hope that it's a part of her, but doesn't hinder her world. My one of my favorite friends out here who I grew up with, and I don't know a lot of friends who had parents that were in the industry, but my one friend Gabe, he's the kindest guy. He's so brilliant. And his dad is Jason Alexander, who plays like George Costanza on Seinfeld and all. He's a G. And he was always such a normal dad. We'd go out for movies, and we'd even be watching his movies, and we'd go over and be like, oh, I like this one. And I never felt like I was in a celebridom, a celebrity home or anything. I just felt like his dad does this, that's cool, but they had such a cozy lifestyle. And that's always been somebody I've wanted to emulate in my parenthood. Just somebody who like, what's up, but they don't make it a thing. It just happens to be what they do. And hopefully, everybody just has a humble normalcy in their life otherwise.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It's just like a casual, like humble environment. That's really cool. It's a really good thing to strive for.
Well, I know we talked to Gabby Barrett a couple weeks ago, but there was this thing that my Jane, my fiance, she always was like this thing where you put a charm on a necklace. I don't know if you ever heard of this, but it like goes a certain way around your hand. Did you and Emily ever do that to figure out like if you guys are having certain genders? Because like, but we both did it, and we both got 3 girls, which was freaky, and we were like, this is meant to be. This is insane.
Never did that, but Emily, she's very spiritual. She does tarot cards and that whole world and lifestyle.
Oh, really?
And she told me that, I think it was like a year and a half ago, she was in England with her mom visiting her family, and she went to a psychic. And this psychic, she has it written down, everything the psychic said. And, at the time, you just go, psychic, all right, I don't know. Let's see if I believe it. But everything this psychic's been saying is going crazy right now. Like, as we're a year and a half later, and we're looking at the notes, and it says, one girl, it says, she said I'd have a surgery. She says I have high blood pressure, so I got to watch that, I guess. But everything she said, this woman said everything. So maybe that was a part of why subconsciously, before we got the gender reveal, we just knew it was going to be girl. We could only think of girl names. And right before the gender reveal, we looked at each other. We're like, we got to be cool. If this is a boy, we got to be just as excited. We had like a list of 30 girl names. We just had a roadblock in our minds. So I think we just knew subconsciously, maybe because of that psychic, maybe just from an intuitive state of parenthood.
Have you narrowed it down to one name yet, or?
Oh yeah, she got a name. We're just waiting to reveal it once we meet her,
Oh.
But
That's
but
what Daddy said too.
it's spooky season though, and her nickname is Spooky because the first time I felt her kick, I was like, "Ooh, spooky!" It was just so bizarre, like just feeling a human kick inside the womb. It was crazy. And every time I feel her now, it's just wild. You put your hand there. Anybody who knows, you just put your hand there. You just feel a full foot. You're like, there's another person in this room.
So weird.
Just sitting inside of your stomach. You created this human from your humanness. So
That's crazy.
Spooky. It's Spooky Schneider is her nickname now. It'll probably stick for a while as well, along with her real name.
When is she due?
She's due. She was supposed to be in December, but I think sometime in November. It's anybody's guess at this point. She's growing so fast. We're just ready.
We saw you tweet. We saw you tweet a few days ago that Suga would be a good uncle from BTS, and that kind of went viral for a minute.
Yeah, it was so fun. I didn't even think about it because somebody asked me to be the Godfather, and I was like, he's Uncle Suga. I mean, I really do love. I love that we get to travel the world. One of my favorite parts of doing music is that you get to meet people, and when you meet certain people in different countries, you just know they're a soul friend. And with Suga it was like that. I have another friend named Gesa in Amsterdam, and so I love that this little girl has these like little uncles in different countries around the world, and so
she'll never be alone.
She'll never be alone. Yeah, and I just love when you go to Suga is such an amazing host, and I've been lucky to meet hosts like that in different countries where. That's the best way to experience a culture when somebody really welcomes you in and says like, check it out. I'm going to show you the ropes. I'm going to show you how we live here. And I try to do that when they come to our country too. So Uncle Suga for this baby girl, for sure. She's going to be ecstatic. She'll have no idea.
Awesome. Well, let's get into the music a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
What were you going to say, Tommy?
I was going to say, like, how'd you get hooked up with Suga in the first place?
We met in Korea. I haven't worn this sweater, but I think it says Max in Korean. And I was given it in January 2020, first time going there ever. And I had my first show there, and the show sold out quicker than any show I've ever had. So I didn't want to have high expectations of this trip, but of course that happens, and you just think, I wonder what it's going to be like. And it was just transformative the whole trip. I'd been giving love to BTS for years, and between Jungkook and Suga, they'd been giving love to my music with Love Me Less and different songs. And so it just felt like fate to, after, 3 years of waiting, to say, all right, I'm finally in Seoul. I'm in your country. If you guys are here in Korea, I would love to, make some time. I'll make any time. I'll cancel the show if you guys get out. But I'm not going to cancel the show. But we hung out, a big hit. And, again, I just think you just know when you meet somebody that you're meant to be friends with. And I didn't expect that with him, especially with the language barrier, but we met and we just bonded pretty instantaneously and loved basketball and Korean food. And then I brought him to his first basketball game in the States, and, the friendship emerged into music making, and we got to do stuff on each other's projects, and it's been an incredible ride. What a wave. I've been loving all of the love for Blueberry Eyes, and this has been crazy. So I'm excited.
Do you have a favorite song on Color Vision that really sticks out to you?
Well, I mean, the wave of Blueberry Eyes is definitely unlike anything. So just from the story itself, it's been incredible. I'd say that the opening track, always, I say Color Vision, the song, I had a different approach than usual. It just was, I really wanted to make sure that it was an intro into the world, and having this, like, not wanting it to be a single or just having no inhibitions, just really feeling creatively free to just go in and make it the welcoming. There was something so magical about doing it, and especially it was the last song we wrote. So it was just, I just love, when we got to do it live at the Greek and just like emerging on top of the Rubik's Cube and getting to sing that
That
song.
was the coolest stage setup I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm not even kidding. I saw that. I was like, there's no way that's real. And then you popped up on top of the Rubik's Cube, and I was like, no shit.
Dude, it was crazy. It's funny. The album cover, of course, it's an actual Rubik's Cube. Everybody thought it was a Photoshop, but one of my incredible collaborators, his name's Raul Gonzo. He did checklists. He did a bunch of the music videos. And when I had the idea of the giant Rubik's Cube, I was like, nobody else is going to make this except this guy. So I just texted him, like, can you build a giant Rubik's Cube that I can stand on top of? And he's like, I got you. That's awesome. He built it. And I always knew, I was like, I have so many little ambitious dreams that sometimes feel like they're not going to happen, but you just go for it. And with that one, in making that, I was like, my dream is to be performing on top of this thing. So we have to make sure that it's stable enough to support my tiny body. And it ended up being exactly that. So it's the same Rubik's Cube that you see on the album cover is what we perform on for every show now.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I can't wait to see it in person once COVID gets lifted.
Let's go, baby. Oh,
That's
nothing I'm more excited
I
for.
do kind of want to back up though, because everything, if you follow Max on social media, everything's color vision, and it's spelled differently, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of want to know what that whole ethos means to you.
Yeah. For one, the spelling differently is because, my wife is British, and it was just felt like a little homage to her to put the U in there.
Yeah.
And I like the spelling of it too. It felt like it just had a different, at least from where we grew up here in the States, it just had that little extra spice putting the U in there. And so those are the two reasons of making it specifically color with the U. And then the actual, the album, it's just I think that we all go through those times when you're in your lowest stage in your life. You forget what it's like to feel alive. And I feel like I went through that right before this album of just being in this dark place. And, it's like when you're sick, you can't remember what it's like to feel healthy. You're in that bubble. And so Color Vision was me reclaiming my joy and my dreams and my ambitions, and not feeling like I would never get out of that 6 feet under spot, and finding the color of my life again. And it just, really came from wanting that to be hopefully a message and a place, a safe space for other people to listen and find that same inspiration. So that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Nice.
Obviously you had he's got the dogs.
He was chewing on the soundproof foam, so I had to grab him. What are you doing, dude?
Obviously you had to postpone the Color Vision tour and all that. How's not been touring and taking a break from all that?
Oh, it's the worst. I hate it so much. It's the biggest thing that I hate, but I mean, it is what it is. The only thing that sucks is when I look at like Benny in New Zealand and she's playing arena shows, and it's like they're in their own world bubble playing shows. They did it right. And it's definitely the thing I miss the most. I have this amazing photo. I only have one photo of us playing live in my house, and it's me and Louis the Child in Chicago for Lollapalooza. And it just, every time I look at it, it just reminds me of why we do what we do. I'm just looking at that energy. You could just feel the energy in it. And I mean, even in the show in Indianapolis, when we had that amazing experience, I mean, every one of those, you could feel what it was like to be there. So I can't wait to feel that again. It's unlike anything in the world.
That's really
I got
cool.
the picture of the engagement that your photographer took, like literally this freaking big above like top of my room.
So fucking cool. I mean, sorry, it's so cool.
No,
you're fine. Dude, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't radio.
Right. Cool.
That's awesome.
But I also want to ask, because I know when we were talking at Lollapalooza, you had a whole emphasis on the color yellow, and I mean you're wearing a yellow hoodie right now. What made you switch to blue?
Oh man,
for Blueberry Eyes.
I really wanted to make sure I would say you'll notice in a lot of the music videos that I have different suits on for each video that sort of I try to represent each song with, but yellow is still in the foundation of whatever video is. For even Blueberry Eyes,
gotcha.
There's different rooms that are yellow in the background. So I kind of wanted the yellow to
That's stuff I didn't even notice. Like, you're a genius.
I got you. Hey, if you catch it, you catch it. No worries if you don't. I just always subconscious that the yellow is just meant to feel like that bed of this world of color vision, and then the rest are the colors that sprinkle in to make it come alive.
That's really cool.
Love it, man.
Do you have obviously you just released the album, so you're kind of riding on that hype train right now. Do you have anything coming up next, or
so much,
obviously yes, yeah,
but it's crazy because I usually don't. Usually I finish and then, but having pushing the album back from May to September, it allowed me to really dig in and work on more stuff. So I'm already, pretty close to the next one, which I've never had. Usually it's like I'm promoting Lights Down Low, and then I get out of the promo of it and I'm like, oh, I need more music. But it's really exciting. I love having something in my back pocket. It's a nice feeling to be excited about other songs. And I have one collaboration on the next thing that's, one of my favorites ever. So besides that, I'm giving Blueberry Eyes the Lights Down Low treatment. We have this Steve Aoki did a remix that's coming out in about a week and a half, which we're stoked on, and so many surprises for this song. I'm definitely, giving it the Lights Down Low X Lil Nas X treatment to just keep it exciting. So,
yeah.
I love the collaboration you did with Quinn. Quinn's one of my favorite. He's so underrated, and we saw him live in Indy probably about a year ago now, and he killed it. And so when I saw you were collaborating with him, I was super happy, because then there's like two of my favorite artists in one song.
Man, he's a legend, dude. He's such a legend.
How's the writing process with COVID? Is it helping, or is it making it a little harder?
Man, I'm sure other artists have told you, I've done a couple of these Zoom sessions, which is, it's different, you know, it works with some people and then others, it's a little weird, but I've written a few songs that were, you know, pretty good via Zoom, which I never would have thought. Like, I'm such an in the room kind of person, but you know, I think the biggest thing about this time is just, you know, thinking outside of the box. What could we not do in a normal circumstance for writing, for videos, for anything? And what does this time allow you to do? And so I've been trying to just figure that out, because, you know, on the writing side, it's a lot more personal. I just have to really dig in and see what I can find. And then it's less of a bounce back and forth. So it's a little more challenging, but hopefully something even cooler comes out of that. You never know.
It's gonna be a whole new thing.
Yeah, I got one more question though before we let you go. Is it like, you were talking about releasing a second album? What's that look like for touring? Because, you know, when usually the process is you make an album, you go on tour, then you make another album, you go on tour. But now people are just make an album, and then we don't even know when tour is going to happen. So is there kind of like, oh, maybe we keep this album in the back pocket?
No, it's gonna be a super long concert. Super long concert. Do both do.
Yeah, man. I honestly, I don't know. I know that I have a couple songs that I'll probably put out, you know, next year to keep things going. But other than that, I think that it's just, you know, we write in the moment. You know, I look at, like Shawn Mendes and Ariana putting out these albums, and I'm sure that, you know, it will, hopefully the songs that are from them will just last. And then whenever we can get to perform them live, we'll just have an even more stacked show of people being excited to hear the music they've been listening to so much. So that's all I can hope for. But, you know, I'm seeing the positive. I get to just hang out with my baby girl for longer. So, you know, as long as this lasts, I hope it doesn't last long, but either way, I'll be very happy. And more of these, we've been doing a bunch of these virtual shows, which it isn't as great, but at least, like, I did a whole reimagined version of the set that's coming out pretty soon with like congas and this whole new world. So we're just trying to you know, be creative with it, make the most of it.
That's really
I just want to see that Rubiks Cube in person, man.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
It's crazy.
With that thing.
I see the one. I see and I was gonna say one, but you got two behind you.
Oh, I got these guys. Yeah, this is the little custom. You know, it's crazy. Fun story with it. Like, so I had the Rubiks Cube idea. Didn't think to hit up Rubiks Cube. I was just like, they'll be cool with it. Don't worry about it. And all the people I work with were freaked out. They said, oh, they're gonna sue us. We can't. You know, we put the album cover out, and everybody was like, we got to take it down. I said, don't take it down. Don't take it down. Just maybe hit up Rubiks Cube. And luckily, shout out to Rubiks Cube. They were so cool. They're like, let's make custom Rubiks Cubes. We want to do this with you, man. So I've been so ecstatic to have them be so wonderful and a part of it, and just it's pretty surreal just to have them do this custom cube. I want it to be subtle enough, just a little bit of me, but still, you know, workable. And they've been wonderful partners. So yeah, stoked.
Okay, so I guess we got a new last question. Can you actually solve a Rubik's Cube?
Not at all. I probably should. I feel like, and yeah, I can't. I'm not Logic or anybody like that, but I definitely have an appreciation and fascination with it. But really, it came out of just the physical being of like, oh, I would love to stand on a giant Rubik's Cube that represents television, you know. But no, I can't, and I just should probably, you know, for the sake of the album, learn how to do one. But here we go. Here's this, and now there's.
I think you got to go like this and then this. I've heard it's like far right twist up, and then the top row you twist right.
Oh, you're losing.
You just keep doing that until you solve it.
Oh,
I don't know. I have no idea.
Did you see the Rubik's Cube documentary on Netflix where it's about the top cubers?
No,
it's
never.
Crazy. Yo, check it out.
I'm watching it.
It's amazing. It's legitimately about, you know, these two dudes who are, you know, the top Rubik's Cube people in the world who become friends and have this cute friendship. And it's just, it's gnarly. And you just, even if you don't, I mean, I don't know that much about Rubik's Cubes, even though it's the album. You just have this, your mind is blown by the discipline to solve it in 2 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever.
Oh yeah. I like all the different ones where there's like 8 different sides and just gets even more confusing. And I'm like, the people that can do that, I'm flabbergasted. I have no clue.
I got to send these to Cube. That's the one thing I haven't done yet. I got to just send these to like the top Rubik's Cube people and see if they can solve them on camera.
See if they can do it.
Yeah.
Get it going.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Of course, guys. Yeah. A pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
You've been one of the artists that we've wanted to have forever, so we're super happy we finally got it.
It's my pleasure, guys. You guys
thank
awesome,
you, and good luck, and
Thanks,
good luck to you and Emily on your new baby girl as well.
Sounds good, baby. Talk to you guys soon. Keep slaying that shit. Hey.
All right. Pause on this. 27 minutes.